So in today's session, because there are some new students joining in, we'll be discussing with the basic address format. After that, we'll have discussion on the use of articles and then writing a letter to the community nurse. So let us first look at the format for address. By writing the address, the first line should always include the person you are referring to, and their full name should be written. And you have to make sure that the first name of the name as well as the first letter of the name as well as the surname has to be with the capitals along with appropriate title that you need to use, Mr. or Mrs. or Doctor. And it will be usually found in the writing task, which will indicate which person you are writing the letter to and what is their designation. Now, there will be some of the cases where the name of the person would not be given, so you might be directly writing their designation. So when it comes to writing the designation directly, you need to add article the with that. So you don't write head physiotherapist, but you write the head physiotherapist. But this is only if the name is not given. If I'm writing head physiotherapist after Suzanne Rodrich, then in that case I wouldn't require article the here. So once you have written the title, the next thing you write is the designation and name of the institution. If it is given, it should be written in the next line. So after writing the organization's name, the next line will be the actual address of that institution, which may include the name of the street, suburb, and postcode. Now, the actual address, which includes the name of the apartment, street, suburb, state, and postcode, should be written in just 2 lines. So the first line of address would include number of house, then the name, street name, or it can be lane or street or road. And in the next line, you would have name of the suburb, state, and postcode. I'll show you the example to have more clarity on this. So right from the name of the person up until the postcode, this is the entire address part where you don't need any comma. Okay, and always while writing the name of the apartment, street, road, name of the person, surname, designation, name of the institution, all those words will require first letter capital. So if it is head physiotherapist, H and P both are capital. Once you are done with the address, leave one blank line and then write the date. Most of the time, you will be asked to write the date of the exam. But while we are practicing for the case notes, you should be writing the last date of consultation, okay, or last or discharge date. If it is a discharge summary, the discharge date which is given has to be written. After writing the date, now how to write the date? There's also a lot of confusion surrounding it. So while writing the date, you must be writing the number, and month has to be in words, and then the year. So you don't need to write second, ND, RS, ST. You just need to write the digit. So 2, then July, because the month also requires first letter capital. So while writing the month, you need to have J capital and 2018. That's how it should be written. To avoid any confusion, because there are different formats, sometimes the date is written first. In American format, the month is written first. So to avoid all those confusions, we would be following this format, writing the date first, writing month in spelling, and then the year. So even don't write just 18 like this. You need to write complete 2018. And you don't even need any comma when it comes to writing the date. Even in date, you don't need comma. Once the date has been written, again leave one blank space. And then comes the salutation. So when it comes to salutation, you need to write dear Miss and the last name of that person. Because in formal setups or in formal writing, the person is always addressed with their second name. They should not be addressed with their first name, or you don't even need to write their full name. You just need to write their second name. So, dear Dr. Thompson, for example, dear Dr. Uh, whatever their surname is, and then you need to have comma. Okay? So, very, very clear instructions I have been giving. So, make sure when you are writing the address, there are no mistakes in that. So after writing the salutation, again you leave one blank space, and then the reference information, the person you are writing the letter for. So this is how your address would look like. First line would have name, that is full name along with the title. And with the titles, you don't need full stop. Without full stop, you can write it. First letter capital for name and for surname. Then the designation, again with first letter capital, name of the organization, name of the street, and then the suburb, state, and postcode. So see, suburb, state, and postcode are three written in the same line without the need of comma. And then date, again date, both the formats are accepted, putting comma or not putting, both the way it is correct. So we will not be using comma, we'll be using it without comma. Then salutation and reference. So reference also you need to have R capital, E small, full colon, and full name of the person, then comma. And here this is typo. You need to have aged, AGED, aged 71, because we are using it as an adjective and we need ed form. So that is this how your initial setup should be. Now, after understanding the initial setup, now let us move on to the use of hyphens, how the hyphens are used. Okay. Now, mainly we'll be focusing on using hyphen with numbers because we use it more often with numbers. So there are two cases. If we write out when a number is used to make an adjective, we add a hyphen between the number and words because those two words together work as a single adjective. Now pay attention to this. For example, if I'm writing full-time bank manager. So full-time bank manager, this word full-time, these two words combiningly act as an adjective. Bank manager is a noun. So when your adjective is made up of two words or more than one word, it has to be separated with hyphen. Now, for example, if I'm writing a sentence like this, she is, for example, married. And if I'm using another adjective here, hypertensive, for example. So here I'm using two different adjectives. So when I use two different adjectives, I don't need hyphen. Okay, try and understand this is a very fine line. When two words make a single adjective, then they need to be separated with hyphen. This indicates that they are to be read together. But when two different adjectives are used, they are separated with comma. Similarly, when you are writing about the patient's history, for example, the patient came to you initially and he tells you that he has been suffering from abdominal cramps for the past 3 days. So if I want to use 3-day history of, how would I frame it into a sentence? So I would write something like this: the patient presented with a 3-day history of mild abdominal pain. So 3-day here is acting as an adjective of history. History is noun. So when I'm making adjectives like this with the numbers, I need to separate it with hyphen and I don't make it plural. Similarly, this can be 1 week, 2 month, 1 year, 5 year. But there's no need to have plural and you need to separate it with hyphen. These are the two things you have to be careful about. Now, if the same thing was used in a sentence where it is not used as an adjective, look at this. We'll have a 1 hour meeting about his case. So meeting, we'll have a meeting, but we are describing the meeting. What kind of a meeting? Which is 1 hour. So we need to have hyphen, but the meeting will last 1 hour. So after 1 hour, there is no noun. Okay. So when numbers are used before noun as an adjective, you need to separate it with hyphen. Similarly, look at this. He came into hospital after a 2-week illness, but the illness lasted 2 weeks. Jimmy is a 5-year-old with a lot of energy, but Jimmy is 5 years old. So when I don't use it as an adjective, I don't have hyphen and I make it plural. Yes, 2 weeks and years, 5 years. So I hope this is now clear how to use hyphens with numbers, especially when they are used as an adjective. Now looking at the use of articles.